Welcome to Suman iTTV, India's first and only exclusive IT channel truly dedicated to students, employees, and software professionals, where you can learn, unlearn new things, upgrade your skill set, educate, and empower yourself in IT enabled services. వెల్కమ్ టు సుమన్ ఐటీటీవీ టెక్ టాక్స్ హెచ్ఆర్ సిరీస్. ఈరోజు మనం రమేష్ మంతనా గారితో ఉన్నాము. ఆయన వైస్ ప్రెసిడెంట్ హెచ్ఆర్ టు ఈవోక్ టెక్నాలజీస్. అసలు హెచ్ఆర్ అంటే ఏంటి, హెచ్ఆర్ రౌండ్ అనగానే చాలా మంది భయపడుతూ ఉంటారు. ఇవన్నీ మనం రమేష్ గారితో డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం ఈరోజు. హలో రమేష్, హౌ ఆర్ యూ?
Hello, good. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good to see you here.
Yeah, thank you for calling me.
We just want to know what is your experience till this year? How many years you've been into the IT industry as an HR?
So it's been more than 25 years I've been in the IT industry, right from 1999, Y2K days. I've been in IT, especially in IT industry, in various HR roles, right from recruitment to the strategy of HR. And I've been handling with multiple organizations I worked with. Companies like Techam and Infosys and other organizations I've been part of.
So in these 25 years, you might have seen a lot of changes in hiring process, in firing process, and in the HR policies also. So we can talk about that one. First of all, is there any changes between whenever you are hiring the people from the student life or from the people who's having already experience? What are those differences between when you are hiring?
Yeah, I think when we hire students, we look at, it has changed, if I have to talk about 15, 18 years back, we used to look at, if somebody is able to express properly or not. We were not too much focused on if somebody's analytical skills are good, logical skills are good or not. Not much of focus on the programming. If somebody is good in this, people, we would get them into the organization, train them on various technologies or programming skills on databases and all. It has changed completely in the last few years. Now even from people coming from campus, we expect them to have all the programming skills. They need to know how to do some, at least basic coding is expected. Basic coding skills. Apart from the communication and the other aspects. That's the shift we have seen and the expectations from students.
So these days, colleges are giving a lot of communication skills, like soft skill training and each and everything. So what did you observe past and now at present? Any difference, much difference between the students when they are coming to attend an interview?
They're far better, definitely.
Now
now,
okay.
I think they're far better compared to what it was 7-8 years back or 15 years back. They are more confident. Okay, they are more exposed to the industry. Earlier, there was no industry exposure; it was there. But today, as part of their curriculum, they have internships, where they do go and spend IT, within the IT industry, they spend 5 months, 6 months, 2 months, in various stages. So that has given them a lot of exposure. But we still, and in India, we still a lot of skill gap, which is existing. One side, we have a lot of positions open. Other side, we don't have people with enough skills. I think that's where we are struggling as HR.
Okay. So as a vice president to a company like Evoke Technologies, what is your experience and what is the role of as an HR to that company?
See, HR is all about people, right? And the most complex thing in this world is human, and managing them, managing expectations of individuals, or groups, it could be, is the most challenging task, which always keeps the HR, running. I think, especially in IT industry, where the technology changes every minute. I would not say every minute, but it used to be earlier. The change used to happen in a few years, 3 years, 4 years. There's a new technology which is coming up. But today, the scenario is technology is changing almost within a year. There's some new technology which is coming up. Or some client says, I want to integrate 2 different technologies and bring in something else. So that's the most challenging aspect for us in terms of getting the right people.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's been the most challenging for us. Yeah.
So, how you are choosing a right candidate to a company? What is the criteria? Either it is a student, either it is a experienced employee. What's the criteria you are looking?
When it comes to students, as I was telling, basic thing we look at is one, the technology aspect, that is the programming skills, where somebody is able to have the programming skills, understands a little bit of database. Okay, these are the harder aspects what we look at, hard skills what we look at. Somebody should be good in some technical, it could be a Java, it could be .NET, it could be Python programming, or some basic programming skills on how the logic runs in a program. They should be able to have that. Two, when it comes to the softer aspects, that are soft skills, we look at analytical and lateral thinking. Okay, which is very important, from a problem solving perspective. Okay, because it's day in day out in the job of an IT software engineer, example, and is to solve problems. Okay, there is a business problem, and we are supposed to give a technology solution to a business problem. So they should be problem solvers. The thought process should be to solve problems.
And whether do you look into this matter, whether they are culturally fit or not to your company?
Yeah, when it comes to the experience, right? Definitely, for a particular role, for whatever role we hire, that technology strength, whether somebody is good in that technology, what kind of programming he has done, to what extent a person got involved, is one aspect. Second is the cultural aspect. Okay, when it comes to hiring the seniors who are already into experience, cultural aspect. In cultural aspect, we see whether somebody is ethical, in what they do. Okay, because there's a lot of data, which is involved of our clients. So ethics is definitely the priority which is given. There are other values also. Whether other values is what we call the professionalism, right? Okay, you're doing the work, whether you're able to help your other colleagues or not. Okay, it's not you individually, you do a work and go off, and it's about the teamwork which is required. So somebody's whether a team player or not. Okay, and other aspects also, somebody's does a person stay for a longer period or not.
So how you will find all these things in a person when you're hiring?
So we look at their past.
Okay.
Because past talks about what you are and where you will be. Okay, so we look at their past experience, what kind of programmings they did, how long they have been staying in any organization, and what are the reasons for an individual to leave an organization. Okay, is it just because of the monies a person is leaving, because a learning stopped in that organization, is looking for a better learning in some other organization? So based on these questioning skills, and all of us know the body language aspect. So through when maybe somebody might try to manipulate the interview, but through body language or certain questions, which comes out of experience for recruiters, we try to find out.
Hence, you're talking about the manipulation and all. These days, not only these days, past also, we come across so many people are keeping the fake certificates, and they're coming and they are taking the interview. They are getting into the company also. So how did you find that fake certificate and the fake people?
So these days, I think almost last from 2004-5, most of the organizations started background checks.
Okay.
Today it is mandatory with all the companies. Okay. Background check is done by external agencies. We have a lot of external agencies which done background checks. So they connect with the previous organizations, and then they give a report to us whether that person really worked in that organization or not. And based on that report is what we will come to know. Similarly, education also. They send it to the particular university and get the report, and without big background check, we don't onboard an employee at all.
Okay.
And when it comes to interview faking, if somebody is in between during the COVID, last 2-3 years, there was a boom in the market, and there were too many positions available in the market, too less people with right skills. and people are not coming to office, so most of the interviews were happening online. So we used to have proxy taking interviews, but we record them. Okay, we do recording of the interview, and before offer we call the person again. We'll do one final discussion, so that that whether there's the same person who has come and is able to answer similar questions or not. I think that's how we manage.
And how you're going to, the people in and around in the office, any conflicts, if anything is happening, how you're going to handle as HR?
See, conflicts these days, there are, AI is used everywhere.
Yeah.
Even in our organization, we have, being an IT organization, we developed certain HR aspects, and we purchase some from the market, some certain tools. So these tools, they interact with employees on regular basis. It just pops up one, and then it asks some questions, and then the employee responds. So based on the responses a person is giving, it gives an output saying this person is happy or not happy. Or if the person is not happy, if there is a team conflict happening. Okay, that is one. Even before these tools have come, earlier, HRs regularly interact with every employee. Okay.
So you're saying about whether the employee is not happy or happy, it will pop up and you can understand, and throughout the team also it is affecting, right?
Yeah.
So by that time, what kind of actions the company is taking?
Immediately we connect with the employee, because there's already a rapport built between an employee and a HR.
Okay.
From the day one a person joins the organization, HR's job is to keep connected with them. Okay, the moment we find that the HR personally sits, that's where the human interactions, the emotions, and all come out. So HR sits along with the employee, understands what is good, what is not good. Okay, what organization can help the employee in terms of giving them better working conditions.
Okay. And what are the employee policies in a company?
So we have various leave policies available, and then the bonuses, benefits. We have medical benefits, which is very common in the industry. So somebody is ill or somebody is hospitalized, there's a coverage of 3 lakhs to the family and the extended family. Sometimes some certain organizations have extended family also. And apart from that, death benefit in case there is some death, there is some lump sum amount benefits which are provided, and the leaves and the annual holidays you have. So these are some of the major benefits, I would say. Apart from that, depending on the organization, their philosophy as an organization, there are external benefits which get added, which gets extended.
What are those things as an employee don't know, and how to get the benefits from the company? What are those things?
See, there is nothing that an employee will not know. When a person comes and joins into the organization, a person is inducted into the organization.
Okay.
In that induction, everything is let known to the employee. What are the benefits available for a person? What are the tools? How a person needs to manage attendance, how a person needs to fill in timesheets. Everything is done in the induction part. And some of the benefits, I think, benefits also have been evolving over a period of time. Over the years, it has evolved. Example, after COVID, there's more care which is given in terms of the medical.
Okay.
So a lot of organizations, say suppose earlier, we used to have 2 lakhs annual coverage. So when COVID came in, we have increased it to 3 lakhs. For the entire family. So in that particular year, a person can avail 3 lakhs of coverage. Similarly, somebody is sick. During COVID, when somebody is, while we didn't have a policy, we introduced a new policy immediately.
Okay.
Somebody is sick, irrespective of 7 days or 15 days, it is paid leave.
Okay.
So some of these benefits also evolved. And with more, with the changing environment, the social environment, where Now people are equally taking responsibility. Both men and women take equal responsibility in everything they do at home. So the policy earlier, maternity, it used to be 45 days, and then now it is 90 days of maternity benefit leave which comes. So 6 months now, actually from 90 days it has become 6 months now.
For a woman.
Women.
So,
and paternity leave, what we call for men, it was not there at all. If you go back 7-8 years, there was no paternity leave. Then a lot of organizations introduced 2 to 3 days of leave. Okay, and now the Western organization, the MNCs, US organizations, which are, because they have the policies there at US, they have to replicate them in Indian context. So they have equal paternity leave. So 6 months maternity and 6 months paternity.
Mother and 6 months to father.
There are organizations. There are certain organizations who are doing 15 days. Okay. So it is all an extra benefit which is being provided, which attracts an employee to that particular organization.
And is there any companies here in India who's providing the menstrual period leaves also for the women?
I heard, we have these HR discussions, which HR forums, which we keep connecting with people. I think in Western country it is already started. It is coming to India, as there are a couple of companies I heard. I don't remember the name of the organization, but yes, it is coming.
Okay, as a HR, till now we are talking about how to hire the employees, but a company, how they are hiring the HR.
Hiring of HR.
Yeah.
Again, it's HR is a very key role from a people perspective, because a person in HR need to understand the culture of the organization. Okay, each organization has its own culture. Okay, and depending on the culture of that particular organization, HR needs to understand the culture and understand what is good in that culture, what is not good in that culture.
Okay.
And then slowly bring in strategic changes into the organization, which will elevate the organization to that next level. Okay, from a people perspective.
Okay, so organization will give that, the easiness to get into those changes into the organization through HR.
Yes, and otherwise there's head HR role, doesn't add value.
Okay, is there any experiences for you in your career in these 25 years?
Yeah, even in my current organization, I joined this organization when we were 300 plus people. Now it is 1400 plus people. So there's a lot of cultural changes which we brought in. When I say cultural changes, right from the learning aspect, one example is learning. Okay, people are not too much bothered, they're happy doing what they're doing. Okay, but from an organization, it is important that people learn on a continuous basis.
Okay.
So we build some platforms. Okay, so we introduce certain policies. Example, earlier, whenever there is a need, we would provide the training. But now we insist people that they should get trained. So we give a quarterly budget. Okay, say 3,000 budget. You can utilize, you do Udemy course, you do LinkedIn course, whatever. And they can do certifications. And irrespective if it is 20,000, 30,000, we don't mind. We just ask them to do certification and then we reimburse that.
Achha.
So those are the changes. So the cultural change is, so learning as a part of it. So these are things, a lot of things which happen in terms of the change of the culture.
So in the organization, what is the expectation of employee code of conduct? In that way, what is your opinion?
See, it's every organization, there's a mandated code of conduct. And code of conduct is nothing but how an employee has to conduct himself or herself in the organization. What are the do's and don'ts in an organization? As an employee, what are your responsibility? So, as we expect, we work in teams, right? All kind of genders work together.
Yeah.
So we need to safeguard, genders. It could be our individual respect. We need to safeguard, and that's where the code of conduct comes into the picture. Most of the organization, even we have, called, grievance redressal system. We will have. Okay, so somebody has some grievance against any person, it could be, irrespective of a gender, okay, irrespective of what kind of a problem it is. Okay, they can always request their problem, saying that this is my problem, and then immediately HR gets into it. Okay.
Okay.
We get, and then there are certain steps involved in how we take this up. Every organization it has its own three layer steps or 4 layer steps where we get it addressed and communicate it back to the employee what has happened and how it can help.
Okay.
And when it comes to very specific to the gender bias or that's where the posh all of you all of us know about the posh. It is mandated by government for the last few years that every organization should have a posh committee.
Okay.
So somebody feeling harassed, okay, they can raise a request with the posh committee, and it's kept highly secretive, only except for those posh committee. Even the CEO need not be told about what happens.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this posh committee consists of some seniors and women, men, everybody in that committee, and they do all the inquiry like any investigation. They do all the inquiries from all angles. And then they will take necessary action, which is communicated back to the HR. Okay, and the HR takes the appropriate action on those employees.
So, how your company or in your awareness?
See, it is all part of I think diversity and inclusivity is DEI, what we call, because all of us recognize that each human is different. Okay, but everybody is very important for an organization to grow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we first most important aspect is the gender. Definitely is there. We, as an Indian, India as a community, I think we want to have more women leaders, and that's our target today. Okay, while we have 35% of women employees and some large organization of 40, 50% also these days, IT company. But when it comes to the leadership roles, okay, we still don't have a good percentage of women representing in the leadership roles, in the boards it could be. So that's our focus. Even in my organization, that's one of the targets I have, and I need to have more women leaders. Okay. And other LGBT community, I think, started talking about it. People started talking about it. Larger organizations are having focused hiring drives. Okay. But mid-level, small, while we don't look at very specifically that a person is so and so or not, we don't do it. We don't look at it as a different also.
Okay, so
if somebody is applying, there's no restriction which happens saying that this person is there or not. But focus driving, still we lack. Bringing them to that next level, that community, I think that's
so. Your organization is open.
We are open. Yeah.
Okay.
It started happening last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I visit some of the other organizations.
Yeah, I heard about few of the organizations in India started hiring. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All the large MNCs, they started making it as a focus for them. I think we have other priority items which we are still focusing on. Maybe in 1-2 years we'll be getting there.
And what about this? When you are terminating any person, what kind of policies you are taking?
See, termination is purely in our organization is based on performance. Okay, somebody is not performing. Again, we have a system in place and how we handle a termination. Somebody is not performing, okay, we are supposed to provide an opportunity for that particular person to prove himself or herself. So we provide an opportunity for a learning opportunity, and we'll have a window, say 90-day window or a 60-day window, depending on where that person stands from a performance perspective. And then necessary support is provided by the managers and the other team members. And if we don't see a person improving after regular interaction trainings after 60 days or 90 days, that's when the termination comes into picture. Okay, that's one aspect which we take care. Mostly mid-level and small organizations like us, we only focus on performance. Okay, that's one. If larger organization where is some large project which is gone, and they have to terminate, say 50 people or 100 people. In that case also, first preference is always given for non-performers. And then the second would be somebody who's whose value add against a person who what he's earning, he or she is earning. Okay, that's where if there is parity, if I'm paying somebody very high salary and if I don't get an output properly, that's when that would be the second set of category of employees we look at generally in terms of we have to terminate somebody. But every organization gives an ample opportunity for a person to either look out. It could be
to upgrade their skill,
upgrade themselves. It could be all this. Yeah, whatever organizations have worked, whether this or previous organizations, I think they have very robust systems around that.
Okay, and most of the people, whoever is working in the IT sector, especially, all the employees will say stress. This word repeatedly I heard in this organizations, within the organizations. So what type of stress busters or whatever it is, the training programs or the help to help the organization with their work and to help the people in humanity also in the across the world, what kind of things are going on inside in the
now, how we engage a person. Okay, definitely one point is the work. Okay, in work itself, again, you have various levels of engagement, whether I'm enjoying my work or not. Okay, whether I'm making a person enjoy the work he or she is doing it. Okay, that's one aspect.
Okay.
And the second aspect is relaxing yourself. Okay, so I work for 8-9 hours in an office or at a home. In office, if I'm working, what kind of relief a person is getting provided. So there are a lot of fun activities which get conducted by HR. Okay, and one of the engagement aspect is also whether I'm able to take care of the person from his or her career growth perspective.
Okay.
If I'm not taking care, if I'm not making somebody grow, then the person will get insecure, right? And then he might feel stressed because of that. So there are various aspects which coming in making a person feel de-stressed, I would say. And apart from that, there's meditation sessions. It could be, or we conduct quarterly games. We do we had a EPL, what we call Evoke Premier League, wherein 20 teams participated. Over the weekends, we make them play. So these are other aspects.
Okay. So finally, one question to you, with your knowledge and experience, what kind of suggestion you want to give to the HRs who are going to join with any big organization?
I think HR is a very critical role. Everybody is looking at you. Okay, so before you tell somebody, okay, you need to do what we call the walk the talk, right? Okay, so for HR specifically, it is very important.
Okay,
HR needs to be ethical because they are the people who are driving the organization and building a culture. Yes, definitely there are the delivery leaders also are involved. But if HR is not doing the walk the talk, then they will fail. So
you're saying before telling to the people,
somebody, you need to implement it. I think that's one very important. Then the second aspect is how quickly you're able to connect with an employee. Okay, how comfortable you are able to make an employee, how quickly and how you connect emotionally with an employer. These some of these aspects which HR needs to have
in an organization if he or she wants to be an HR.
Yeah, that's the reason I think it's about the emotions, right? Humans are about emotions. And if you don't manage the emotions properly, we will fail in bringing a good output from that in individual. That's the reason maybe HR, almost any organization you go, 70-80% you will have women in HR roles. Okay. So women play a very critical role, balanced role in HR. Even in US, it is more actually. Even women leaders in HR is 90%. Okay. And in India, even in my team, I have 80% women in HR teams. That's how it is.
So Ramesh, tell me, these days we are hearing about more Moonlight. So what is that Moonlight and what the people are doing? What is happening in the industry?
Moonlighting has become very famous in the last couple of years. Moonlighting is a person working in more than one company without a proper contractual obligation. It is hitting the productivity of an individual, burns down an individual, I would say. Okay, it burns down an individual. So moonlighting now, all the organization have realized that moonlighting is not good for an individual and for an organization. And there are a lot of strict regulations which are being formed in organizations around.
Then how the organization is getting know that this person or employee doing in so many companies or more than one company he's working?
There are various techniques used by the organization. One, definitely we have background checks, which we implement. HRs, we are connected well within the community. So somebody's worked in some organization, we call them up, we understand, if somebody's there. Apart from that, there are other tools like, somebody is having two jobs, then you will know in the PF account if somebody is having two jobs. In PF account, you will have start date, end date of the employment. So that is one. And there are other in IT rules also, income tax also these days. There is everything you earn or everything which gets hit your back gets into 26A. So if we observe Form 26A, we'll know whether somebody's doing moonlighting or working in some other organization at the same time.
So it is not easy these days.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's not easy. Okay. And the kids, I mean, whoever is just passed out of the colleges, these people are doing just within 6 months or 1 year in one company and jumping into another company, keeping the experience, double experience like that. So for that, what you're going to do?
I think it's very important for an individual. Learning should be, at least initial years of experience, learning should be their primary goal and not salary. Okay. It gives a bad impact on their long-term career if somebody is moving every 2 years or 3 years, every 1 year, sometimes 6 months also people move out because of the benefits which they get. But long-term, it's going to hit them. As a HR, the first thing we look at is whether somebody is stable in their work-related aspect or not. If somebody is not stable, moving companies, we don't entertain or we don't even look at their resumes. Okay, so it's important. The reason is, again, for somebody to understand an organization or a particular set of work, they need to spend minimum 2 to 3 years to excel in that particular role.
So that's going to be rejected. That type of CV, you're not at all going
we
to.
Don't even, at recruiter level, at the what we call the screening level, we call when somebody looks at the resume, if somebody is having, then I put it aside. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience and knowledge about the HR role in an organization. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's nice interacting with you.
సో చూసాం కదండి, ఇది ఇవాళ మనం హెచ్ఆర్ రోల్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది ఒక కంపెనీలో, ఎంత ఇంపార్టెంట్, ఇవన్నీ తెలుసుకున్నాం మనం. స్టే ట్యూన్.